Let's start.
Okay, I think we are now live. Let me see if how we are on.
Sorry if you hear some noise. I'm in the pool, so there's lots of people.
Yeah, Antonio is in the holidays. That's
Sorry,
good.
I needed a break.
That's absolutely. So look, thank you all for joining us on this 4th of July webinar talking about AI. And as we always mention, it's an informal conversation between Antonio and myself, including all of you with the questions. So we are very happy to have you all participating in this. Antonio is in holidays, right, Antonio? You are at the pool now, right?
I'm in the pool. I just came to a small place and nice to see you all. I'm in the south of Spain, Malaga. Just needed a small break to charge the batteries. But I
Yeah.
didn't miss this. This is like a part of the holidays. It's
Yeah.
to see you, everyone, and Ricardo having a good chat. I can be just there half an hour, the only thing.
Okay, no problem, and I can take the questions afterwards. Okay, so I'm
Sure.
still Antonio is in the pool. I am in my office, and after this, I will be traveling to Spain too. So I'll be driving a couple of hours after the webinar. So this is my closing of the week, and we are here to discuss again what is happening in AI. Please feel free to put your questions on the Q&A and use the chat, okay, to to tell people your ideas, to introduce yourself, to put your LinkedIn profile, to suggest them to connect with you. This is a very informal event for all of us, okay? Antonio, I will just kick off
Yeah.
with my slide, and I say we need 3 minutes of your time if you have not done it yet. We are doing a research, okay, for 2025. So 2 years after our first research, we received very close to 700 replies already. But we really want you to participate and want to to share your voice and your perception. It takes 3 minutes of your time to answer that, and it will be extremely helpful. Again, this report will be shared with all of you for free. Okay, so there is no commercial. We just want to hear the voices of the project managers to see what is the perception of what is happening in AI. Okay, so on our agenda today, we will share with you some updates.
Big
We
news.
will talk
Big news.
about big news, yeah, and a lot of hard news because
Yeah.
for us it was a massive amount of effort this month to make this happen, and we want to share, as we always do, what is in our radar. So, Antonio, I will give to you the floor for you to announce the big update that we just, it was this morning, right? That we
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
live. So, yeah, go ahead.
So really amazing news uh, for, I think, for the global community that are eager to learn AI and project management. You know that we have the certification, we have the training preparation material that has been only in English, but both Ricardo and I, we've been thinking we need to make this truly global. So in the last, I don't know, 2, 3 weeks, we've been working like crazy to translate that. The exam now is available as from right now in
Yeah.
Spanish, French, and Brazilian Portuguese, Brazilian. You
Yeah.
can now take the exam.
Right now. So everyone starting at this minute can book the exam and prepare in Portuguese, Spanish. Sorry, that is a typo, a ChatGPT typo on the Spanish, and French. And we want also to announce that Chinese, Arabic, and Italian are coming this month, okay? They are almost ready, but we didn't want to publish before we make sure that there is a professional certification of the exam. So and
Yeah.
Jack helped us with some parts of the glossary. So the exam will be available because probably I would say one of the biggest news we will share very soon is about China, okay, and China and the AIPM. But Antonio, this was a massive effort from the team. So I just want to acknowledge everyone involved on that
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
this and also Antonio, the APMG team that we need to thank them because I never saw something
No,
happened at this speed. So, okay, it was
exactly.
an AI speed. We did pretty much everything in three to 4 weeks on that, and to make the exam available was a big milestone. And of course, if you are already a candidate and you didn't book the exam, you can book now using the voucher you already have in any of these languages, okay? So it's
Correct.
absolutely up to you.
And the other thing, Ricardo, I want to share is not just the exam, but again, the amazing team has been working on the teachable
Yeah.
material. So those that don't want to go through a master class, but want to learn by themselves, is going to be available in these languages with subtitles, right? So,
Yeah.
but I think it's not just the exam, it's also the content to prepare and pass the exam that is
And the
available.
glossary. And the glossary.
And the glossary. So
Yeah,
this,
everybody will be able to download the full glossary. It's something like 14 pages of glossary in their own language, okay? In their own language. So it was a big effort to make sure that we have this. And Sylvie, I'm seeing you on the call. Sylvie, I know that you are a strong advocate of French exams and materials. So this news is very good for you. And this was a big effort. This does not change anything on the cost and the investment. This is just something to help all of you to do the exam in the language you are more comfortable with.
yeah. So amazing.
Great.
That's celebration here. I think it's
Yeah.
one, if I'm not wrong, it's probably one of the first certification and content courses in these languages.
Yeah. Oh,
Spanish,
yes.
French,
Yeah. Yeah,
Brazilian.
definitely.
So that,
Yeah, so it's all the material, and this is part of our effort to make really global, okay? To make sure, for example, yesterday I was speaking to Portuguese speaking countries at PMI and the PMO Global Alliance, and I said about the translation in this. So this is a big thing for all of us on that. So we are very excited and happy on that.
yeah,
Antonio, a second
go ahead.
announcement we want to make. It's we were able again to secure with APMG the discount code this month. Okay, so we want to thank them because people think that it's just Antonio and I to decide, but it's not because there are other players here. So the coupon, if you want to use, it's the future is now. So this is the coupon up to July 17th, midnight Pacific time. If you use future is now, you can participate in our masterclass cohort 8 on July 29 and 3rd with $100 less. So $399 will be the price for the certification. This is very special. Using the same coupon, okay, the future is now. You can get also 100%, and for the bundle, a special price of $699 for the two of them with the same coupon. Okay, so it's a limited coupon. We want also to thanks APMG to do that. Okay, so it's a very important for us to really make it accessible for everybody. Antonio, do you want to announce about ATPs?
Yeah, and the last one we're still we're receiving a lot of interest from the ATOs. These are companies that are authorized training providers. We've mentioned that we want to reach many people. Ricardo and I, we don't have the time, so we're partnering with high quality training companies, which they do training. They've been doing training for many years in the space of projects and agile. And so we had already two announcements in the previous webinars. And right now, like, again, everything seems to be falling together. Last week, we signed with the first North American training provider. So we're very, very excited. Again, they have good access to corporate clients. And so we hope that in the next months, we'll see a lot more AIPM certified people around the world. So again, a very good milestone for us.
Yeah, and people ask me about how many AIPMs. We are close to 500. Okay, we are close to 500. I didn't share because I don't have the official numbers, but just for you to know, it's very close to 500 people. Okay, and one important thing, more partners and providers coming soon. Okay, we should expect providers in Brazil, in Canada, and also in China, so very soon, exactly to make this global approach. But Antonio, now let's go to the topic. Antonio, what is in your radar?
Okay, so there's a mix of news and practical advice. Let me share my
Do you
slides.
want me to show? I can show.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can
then.
show on my
Okay,
screen
okay.
if it's good for you.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Ricardo. It's easier for me. So the first point is it's on the some news. You can see there what I put there. First, we will keep seeing companies using AI as a way to reduce cost. And I'm not in favor. In my new HBR book, I'm talking about these savings should be used to reposition the people, the middle managers, to do more innovation type of work. On the other hand, you see some of the good news from AI. So a couple tried to have a baby for 18 years and AI made it happen. So I like that kind of mix of bad news and good news to start with. The next one is something that shocked me this week. And I like to hear also, Ricardo, your take. But Sam was talking about, so you know Sam by now, no, the founder says don't trust ChatGPT too much. And we've been using these tools forever. Of course, the hallucination at the beginning were very evident, but now it's become better and better and better. But yet the CEO says don't trust it too much. He was talking to his employees and shareholders. So that made me again a bit worried. Why not, right? So what's wrong behind that we don't see? So that was a bit of a shocking news this last 2 weeks ago. I hear that.
Yeah. I'm using Antonio. I'm using a lot, of course, of these tools, and I need to be honest. Recently, I don't know what happened, but in the past week and this, I started to see an increase on some hallucinations and this type of challenge. I don't know why. This is happening. Toran is saying the same. I don't know, but in the past, I would say week, I'm having a lot of trouble. For example, my daughter just came here because she's with me here on
Oh,
holidays, and she came to me and said, "Dad, I had to take this medicine, and ChatGPT told me that I should not eat anything before, and now I notice that is the opposite. That I need to eat something." Before that, and it's just crazy. But yeah, as I said, we need to be always mindful on how we use that, and sometimes it's a matter of expectation. So we need just to pay a lot of attention on that. Antonio, ball to you for the next slide.
Next slide is something that still, in terms of more practical challenges, I keep seeing the challenge of data. It comes across every time I see some AI projects, and that's where I think you and I, Ricardo, one of the reasons why we wanted to develop this type of consulting practice, where we help companies to look at AI strategies, but also the data piece, right? So the data accuracy and reliability, it's a big issue. Managing the scripted information, it's another big issue. Protecting sensitive information, handling the sheer amount of different type of data, structure, unstructured, making data readily available, and expanding data infrastructure. So just for us to keep an eye, always data becomes like a core topic for us. Every time we do a project, we need to think about data. The next one, and we will share the slides, but here are some trends that shocked me in the last month. So generate AI automation power, 70% of current business tasks can be automated, will be, could be. 70%, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's from McKinsey, 70%. Imagine that's almost 4 days per week. And this is not project related. These are business tasks. The structured data, so that's a big issue, the 80%. Back to my earlier slide. 72% of project managers say is very extremely likely to change their role. And only 12% of organizations have adopted AI. So that's still a big room for development, improvement. These are experiments at the moment. Predictive analytics for projects. This one was very interesting. I saw that it can reduce project duration. So this is not just about the workload, but delivering projects faster, which is something that we've been talking about, and now there's a bit of research on that. And this one, the last one, comes from Deloitte, and it says that team collaboration will go up by 33% with AI, which to me, again, is a bit of a surprise, because AI, I don't see how it can improve team collaboration. So I'm just looking into these trends to understand better. Just wanted to share them. And then the last 2 slides. So this is something for you that you can, that I use. I know, Ricardo, you use this type of things, but I thought what can be practical for you when you drop from this call. So you could do 3 tips that we use. So smart to-do list and task prioritization. So you can save about 30 minutes per day easily with this auto-generated list, and Notion AI, ChatGPT, you can use this. Number 2 is, of course, the author and other tools. Plot can do that already. That's another half an hour to 1 hour. And then engage in social media posts. So this is create some agents. We'll discuss that in our next masterclass. So with these small steps, you can save up to 2 hours of your daily job for doing other things. So I think these are the smart tips that I like to share. And the last slide is just showing how we see the future of AI and robots, but the second one, it can be changing. So I found it a bit of a funny joke there. I hope this is not true, but this was the last. I think that's yeah. My last slide is just talking about the Spanish LinkedIn course. It has been very well received. So a bit on that, but that's all my updates, Ricardo.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Antonio. I just want to add, because my topic, I have a central topic I want to share with you, and I also have not a question, but an action for all of you. So we all saw recently, and I posted on social media, that Microsoft created an AI system to diagnose patients that was 4 times, they alleged that it was 4 times more accurate than human doctors. And this raises for me, of course, I'm not talking here about diagnose, but one thing I would love you to understand. Let me just show you one thing. Give me a second. I just want to draw one thing for you here. One of the things we see about AI is something like this. I want to draw something here so you can understand. So this is intensity of events, okay? And this here, let's put fear, our fear. Many of us, we feel that our fear raises in a linear proportion with the event. So we watch news and we become more fearful of that, or happy, or anything that will have this feeling appearing to us. But this is not true. This is not true. Most of the time, what happens in reality is something like this. You don't see anything, you don't see anything, you don't see anything, and suddenly you panic. Suddenly you panic. What happens here is a blind spot. Blind spot. So my first tip for you, it's not about a tool, but it's about your behavior. So why I am spending my time and showing this to you if we are talking about project management? It's because if they can do that for diagnose, they can do that for several other, they can do that for several other, sorry, they can do that for several other professions. They can do that, okay, for project management. They can do that for lawyers, and they may do that. And this is a big question mark I want you to reflect. So this is an early warning sign for all of us. Antonio said, Antonio, I need to be honest, I was super impressed when you shared this.
Yeah.
Because this is scary, my friend. This is scary, right? We thought about creating robots to do some chores we don't want to do. And then suddenly, probably things are flipping. And I want to share with you one chart. And this is a PMI chart, okay? PMI has this on its AI process. And this is a very nice to explain what is my perception that is happening, and I don't have the answer. But look, here is the universe of machines. This is the universe of humans, and this is the complexity of the task, low and high complexity. So what do we see? This automation task universe is pretty much done by machines, okay, like meeting notes, like lessons learned, and this. So in this middle tier here, we have machines plus humans, where the machine is helping us to do the work. But there are some tasks that are intrinsically human tasks, okay? So this is what PMI put on this chart. But I want to challenge all of us to think about this. And this is my take to all of you. Look, I agree with that, and this is a great picture of maybe 2023 or 2024. But what is happening now is different. It's different, and we need to pay attention. So what I see, and this is my personal opinion, and that I want to share with you, what I see with notebook LM dominating the way we study. I only study today with notebook LM. I have a paid account, so sometimes I analyze 200 documents to study. I'm studying quantum computing using Notebook LM. I'm using Manus. I have also a paid account to do many of these automation tasks that I want to do. And honestly, even with these hallucinations we saw recently, it's just unbelievable. Every single day. For example, yesterday I received a prompt from a person that said, I don't know what will happen with McKinsey, BCG, Deloitte, Antonio. The person shared a prompt like this. Imagine you are a strategic consultant of BCG, McKinsey, or Bain, and you received a $300,000 contract to address the strategic needs of this company and wrote the full. Do you know what I did, Antonio? I took that and I put my plan, the plan of my company, to analyze. And I got, of course, please, I have many friends of BCG and McKinsey, but you know, it was very good. Very good. I'm not saying it's worth $300,000 of consulting, but it was very good. And do you know how much it cost for me? Zero, right? Zero. And this is a prompt. And if you want, go on the web and put, I want to create a prompt like a McKinsey analyst. And you will see that type of prompt that. So it's just what is happening. So now let me go back to the chart and say how I feel that chart. I feel that chart, this is what is happening. So what is happening in reality? Let me go back. What is happening in my perception is this. Let me draw here. There is a massive wave coming here that is squeezing this and putting more and more and more and more on the universe of the machine. It means that 1 year ago, Antonio, we didn't think about the potential of Notebook LM. We were still in passion for ChatGPT and this. And now we see so many different tasks. We see tools to do pretty much everything, like you just said. So what I see is this. And then this raises me a profound question that I need to share with all my fellow colleagues. And this is one of the most important things I'm doing with this AI initiative. It's what will be our role here? So what will be? So if AI will do the budget, will do the risk assessment, will do the project decision making, will do the cost benefit, will do the project analytics, will tools like Predictor, will select the projects, will do, you know, and then what we will do, right? And I know people will say there is a lot of human tasks here. I would say empathy, motivation, and that you are right. I see that too. But because we are here with friends, and I need to be honest, even these tasks are being replaced. There are hundreds of psychological support using AI. Yesterday night, let me tell you, this is reality. My daughter was here and one of her friends was talking on the phone, talking like about her relationship, okay? A sentimental relationship over the phone. And then I came to Gabriela, my daughter, and say, Gabi, what's going on? And then Gabi looked at me. She's talking to ChatGPT. And I say, what? What are you talking about? She was talking and discussing a personal a relationship challenge with ChatGPT like talking to a human. You know, and this is new reality. So even these very human-based tasks are gaining a very big momentum with AI. And this for me, why this is so important? Because this I'm not saying it creates an existential threat and this. I heard all these opinions, but it creates to all of us a massive need to adapt. A massive need to adapt. We need to start thinking differently and adapting because many of our tasks will be done by this type of computer like Microsoft. And now I want just to wrap up this, to take some questions here. Antonio, imagine someone that spent 10, 12 years studying medicine, my friend. Imagine someone that went to college, study, did everything to become a radiologist, for example, just as an example. And suddenly there is an AI that does this 4 times more precisely than him or her. So what kind of incentive people will have to do medicine and how? So Antonio, what's your opinion on this? Because this, I'm honestly, when I saw that, I was, I'd say, whoa, what's happening?
I think we, as human beings, we're always a bit cautious, and we try to find compartmentalizing. So AI will disrupt the routine tasks. AI will, so that we have still a safe place. AI will never touch emotions and the team kind of engagement and so on. So maybe there are just limitations that we put ourselves just to feel a bit more safe and in control. But like you say, I think maybe we should be more open-minded and go.
Yeah,
AI can disrupt everything. AI can run projects by itself, and maybe
definitely.
we can take actions based on those new assumptions. I think this is something we'll cover in our masterclass,
Yeah.
10th of July.
And Antonio, this is why for me it's so important what you said about the skills. This is why it's so important that when each of you finish this webinar, go and start using AI. Start understanding. And for example, this goes to Suela question here. Suela put a question that is super related to that. She said, many professionals are still hesitant or slow to learn about AI even as becoming essential in project management. This delay risks widening the gap between those who lead transformation and those who are left behind. How can project managers drive learning and adaptation within their teams and organizations when resistance of fear of AI is still so strong? Suela, thanks for your question because this is in the deep of what I'm trying to say here. For me, the best way to combat fear is through knowledge. Okay, through knowledge. So every time someone say, did you see, for example, Manus, the Chinese agent. Someone came to me and said, have you seen Manus, what he did? And I said, no. So what I did next day, I went there and I start digging in to learn what is behind, to prepare myself. Because when you know, you have less fear. And look, an honest suggestion to you. Tell your colleagues that are resistant to that and say, AI does not care if you are resistant or not. AI will just do what needs to be done, like you or not. It's much better for you to get on the boat and learn and improve and practice than to go against. Because if you go against, then probably you will be left behind. That's my view on that. So this is why it's so important. And of course there are our masterclass, the certification and this, but there are zillions, trillions of other sources of information that you can benefit from that. So there is no excuse for you to say, I don't have money, I don't have conditions to learn. No, there is plenty. Go on YouTube and you will see billions of content there available for you to learn. So there's no excuse on that. Antonio, do you want to take the next question?
I take the next one and then I need to leave. Do you think AI disruption will result in social unrest or social resistance? Wow, that's a deep, profound question, Bashar. It depends, of course. I think if we see the negative part of AI being driving change and impacting lots of people, of course, this will not be positive and will have impact. And so I hope that leaders, organizations, political bodies, they will aim to protect us from the technologies like it happened in the past. So I'm confident it will not happen, but it could be. You never know. The world is crazy. So it's better to think about best and worst scenario just to be prepared. But I do hope that, as you can see, there's a lot of examples that show how AI is helping to make a better living and better world. So I hope that's the main trend.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, I
Absolutely.
will need to leave now,
Okay.
Ricardo. They're calling me from the other
My
side.
friend, my friend, go just for you to know, Antonio is on holiday. So thank you very much for joining us. Okay. So I will continue answering the questions.
Send
So
me pictures, Ricardo, from this
thank you.
weekend. I want to see
I
them.
will. I will, because I'm going
Take
to
care.
Spain after the webinar. Okay. See you.
Thank you.
See
Bye.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Okay. So let me now take the question of Paolo. Paolo, many companies want to adopt AI without a clear strategy or strong data governance improvement plan. In your experience, what are the hidden costs of implementing AI when the underlying data infrastructure is not designed for AI readiness? This is a great question. What happens is pretty much nobody is ready for AI, okay? Because AI is something quite new. What is happening today is there are several tools that are helping you to improve the data quality, okay? Several agents that help you to clean your database, to organize your database. It will not fix everything, but it will improve a lot. And Paolo, I personally don't think this is the biggest problem. For me, the biggest problem is because people are talking a lot about the need to implement AI, but when it comes to reality, they do very little. They do very little. They don't create, executives do not create the right environment for AI to flourish. Because sometimes you say, oh, let's do this on AI, but then please don't change this, don't change that. And AI is the sense of AI and projects in AI is disruptive. AI is not, for example, we think, okay, let's use AI to create a better WBS chart, okay, a better work breakdown structure. But maybe AI can come and say, you know, why do I need a WBS? Why I cannot do it in a different way? This is where most of us are not prepared for. Paolo, many times it's not the data. We are just not prepared for disruption, for saying, you know, I think you can do this in a completely different way. I have a suggestion to you for this weekend. But this is a good suggestion. If you have 1 hour and a half, watch the movie AlphaGo. AlphaGo. It's on YouTube and it's free, okay? AlphaGo. AlphaGo is the Go game software AI that defeated Lucedol. And why I'm saying this? Why I'm saying this? Because up to game number 2, it was okay. It was AI versus a human, a genius woman, genius man in playing Go. But look for move 37 on the second game that is called the God's Move. And why I'm saying this? Because these will go to the root, Paolo, of why AI is so disruptive. That move 37, this God move, was at the time that Go did a move that no human could understand. No human whatsoever. Everybody said, something, there is a glitch, there is a problem with AI. Watch the movie on this piece if you have time. And then that move 37 appeared something like 20 moves ahead. And it was the magic move that AlphaGo won the game. It means that AlphaGo was able to think using creativity and not just a process. Of course, it's a probabilistic process. And this is why we are so concerned, because it can disrupt in a way that is not just automating your project charter, automating your Gantt chart. It's automating the full project management. And if it's automating, why do I need to create a schedule if it's AI that is the team member and the project manager? So it's important. So Cassia, I will put the name here. The name is Alpha Go movie. Okay. So this is just to, but thank you very much for your comment, Paolo. Very nice hearing from you. Okay. Um, Toran, okay. Okay, but these I already answered. So, Eric, we the humans have created new tool AI to overcome the principles of bounded rationality to execute complex tasks and speed up the results. Yes, Eric, I agree 100%. What is the missing piece on your comment is that, okay, and what humans will do? What will be to be human? Because one of the things that is part of who, for example, who I am, it's this humanist approach. So what will be the reason for us to be here? For example, and for example, I I love what I do. So imagine if AI start doing everything I do, of course I can find something else, but I don't want to stay home just waiting, even if I receive money for that, like universal basic income, we want people want to have a meaning. And and it's amazing for you to contribute to a project and the project be successful. So this is something I want to continue doing, of course, with all the support of AI. But when I saw that on the diagnose, I said that 1 year ago, and now it's happening now. So we need just to be very mindful, because I believe that the profession of project management as we see will be very different 2 years from now, not 25 years from now, 2 years from now, will be very, very different. And it will require from us a different sets of competence and agility and our capability to assemble this Lego puzzle that is all these sorts of AI and this, and to understand the boundaries, to do the checks and balances, to work on the human side. And these will be very different, very, from what we call traditional way of managing projects. So, Bashar, do you think AI disruption will result in social unrest or social resistance to prevent the use of AI? Bashar, I don't know. I think we'll see disruption, but not a revolution, something like that. No, because people we adapt ourselves very well. What I see is that if inequality increases due to that, and if people massively lose their jobs, of course they will not be happy, and this we need just to be prepared for that. When Antonio said Microsoft is laying off 9,000 people, when a very famous Brazilian newspaper said 2 weeks ago that 41 million Brazilians will have their job massively impacted by AI in the next 1.5 years. This is something that we need to be very mindful, and executives and business people. I teach a lot of executives, And I tell them it's the responsibility on how you can equip these people to survive in a different planet. But I'm sure we are very resilient, okay? We are very resilient. I think humanity will not come to an end, okay? Not at all. Marcos, hi Marcos, how are you, my friend? Will ACP, Agent Communication Protocol, impact knowledge and capabilities the same way TCP/IP impacted information? Can we try to materialize this idea? Oh, this is very nice. Okay, so we will see agents communicating with other agents and creating, I would say, their own language that will not even know that. And I think this will become true, like TCP/IP became true. And I think this will be a big trend because it's like XML and this. So it's a way of different agents to communicate and do massive complex tasks. It's like us speaking in English or speaking in Portuguese or Spanish. So it's the same. It's the communication that one agent. So for example, you may have one agent on Trello and one agent on Monday, and these two agents can find a common approach to communicate. Zapier, for example, is an example of that. It makes different tools to communicate to each other. Probably we'll see a much more natural way of communicating between these tools. And I think it's not like export and import. They will communicate in a much more fluid way. Suela, I try to challenge my friends, and they are well-educated ones, and they resist in an unbelievable way. This is what surprises me. Yes, Suela, it surprises me too. It surprises me too. I do this. I spend probably 40% of my time talking about AI and this and trying to convince people and say, look, get ready, get ready. It's serious, get ready. And people say, now, this is one more thing. And, you know, I cannot do more than that. I cannot do more than that. And one thing that is important, Suela, that I suggest you, it's just show them the cost of doing nothing. The cost of doing nothing. Even today, imagine the cost of you having no knowledge of what is going on with generative AI. For example, for me, it's unacceptable, okay, that you listening to this have not used Notebook LM. It's free and it's amazing. So if you had not used that, it's the time is now, today, to do it. This is just an example. There is no excuse for you to do that. But people still think, no, I have things that are more priority than that. So this is life. Beatriz, good to see you. Very good friends here. Considering all implications numbered and discussed in previous webinars, a really concern is the discussion of ethics, use of AI program to be ethic. My concern is that I'm not seeing too many discussions on this issue. Are you following any event and discuss ethics and AI, how it will impact the future when AI is really independent of human action? I think that when AI start regulating its ethical approach, then we are in trouble. Okay, then we are in trouble. We need to be in common on that. Beatriz, I would suggest I'm putting this on the chat. There is a course at Stanford Enterprise Ethics Governance. And this course is free, okay? It's free. Let me try to find the link here. And it's free. I just did it, and it's amazing, okay? It's amazing, this course. Let me just go on the home. I will share to you. So, and this is exactly to cover this ethical risks, copyright. It's on the chat, okay? So it's Stanford Enterprise Ethics in AI Governance. Okay, so this is what I would suggest strongly to you on that. So we still have let me see, two questions here. What is your view about energy requirement for AI as a cost of using it? Lester, yes, I agree with you that the cost for you to generate, for example, an image on ChatGPT, they said it's enormous, it's gigantic. I understand that. What I see is that these companies are investing massively in alternative ways of powering their data center. And NVIDIA, for example, is investing massively in produce chips that are more efficient in terms of energy. So we will see a move towards more, I would say, towards more consistent energy supply, because it's not, sorry, it's not because humans are good people. No, it's not, because it's just because if they do not do that, there is not enough energy to power, and then they will just freeze their capability of growing because there is no energy. So I see a lot of startups doing that. And also, when we go to quantum computing, if quantum computing becomes available, then we may have, okay, opportunities to do very complex calculations that require massive amount of energy using quantum computers in a much faster and, of course, much more efficient energetically to do that. Of course, quantum computers, they use a massive amount of energy, but because they operate in a different way, if you calculate the time of the operation, it can be much more efficient when it becomes a reality, okay? So this is how I see, and this is a discussion that we see a lot, despite of that the concept of sustainability and this is becoming less trendy now because of the political environment. And the last question, Federico, McKinsey make predictions. Any hard-proven performance increases? Look, I think McKinsey, BCG Bank, they are amazing companies. They are very competent. They are very effective. Their employees are extremely capable and intelligent. But what they sell is knowledge. And what is happening now, and the biggest point of this AI revolution, is that knowledge is becoming a commodity. Because you go on ChatGPT and you can get the knowledge you want. Of course, it's not perfect yet, but it's much better than 2 years ago. And it's far better than having nothing. So this is what I see. I see that several industries will be massively impacted by AI, mainly when they sell knowledge. Okay, the knowledge, like the doctors, like the lawyers, when your product is knowledge and it's able to use generative AI for that, then it's a big deal. Then it's a big deal. I want just to wrap up my talk here, telling you that this course from LinkedIn is available for you. Okay, it's free because it's part now of the Microsoft program, so it's free. So don't miss the opportunity if you have not done yet. And also, I want just to end up telling that we got again the discount future is now for our webinar, for our certification, and for the bundle. So this is the code for this month. If you want to join us on the masterclass, it's confirmed the masterclass and also the certification. And remember, one great thing, now the certification is available in Brazilian Portuguese, Spanish, and French as of today. And during this month, Chinese, Arabic, and Italian, of course, plus English. Okay, so this was a massive effort of the team to make this happen. So thank you very much to all of you to join us today. We are exercising persistence to repeat this every single month. And I see you all again on the first day of August. That will be